unforeseen twist of fate unfurled. A dizzy spell swept over me, bringing with it a sense of dread. I found myself plummeting through obscure, foreboding dimensions. Each moment of descent was tangible. To my left, a terrifying sight emerged, a lake of fire. His chilling words sliced through the atmosphere as he addressed me with a sinister familiarity. As I turned to my right, I beheld Archangel Michael. Standing next to him was my guardian angel. Today's story is about a former Jehovah's Witness from Belarus named Angelina, who experienced clinical death during childbirth. For those who are unfamiliar with this channel, our mission is to showcase authentic Christian testimonies from various corners of the globe, aiming to amplify the message of God's kingdom. We present testimonies about Jesus, the afterlife, heaven and hell, and other Bible-related topics in story form once or twice a week. Thank you to everyone supporting the channel. Now let's get into today's story. My dear brothers and sisters, today I am compelled to recount a personal journey that unfolded on July 11th, 2017. This pivotal moment coincided with my encounter with clinical death during a critical C-section procedure. Before this life-changing event, my spiritual journey was closely connected with the teachings of the Jehovah's Witnesses, a faith I wholeheartedly embraced as the ultimate truth. However, in the wake of my experience, a realization dawned upon me, an epiphany that challenged my beliefs profoundly. My journey commenced at a hospital nestled in the heart of Volkovisk, within the Grodno region. Initially admitted for routine observation, I underwent customary tests, which, reassuringly, presented no cause for concern. Yet, as preparations for the cesarean delivery commenced, an unforeseen twist of fate unfurled. A dizzy spell swept over me, bringing with it a sense of dread. I could feel that something bad was about to happen. Following the onset of my alarming symptoms, medical professionals swiftly intervened. An intravenous drip, infused with sodium chloride, was initiated, stabilizing my condition. As preparations for the critical procedure intensified, a catheter was carefully inserted, ensuring all necessary measures were taken to facilitate the impending operation. Taken on a stretcher to the operating theater, I faced an important conversation with the anesthesiologist. He inquired about my medical history. He asked if I had ever undergone a blood transfusion. I firmly said no, explaining that I refuse transfusions because of possible allergic reactions and related risks. In response, the anesthesiologist gave me a serious warning. In the event of a life-threatening complication during surgery, medical protocol dictated that transfusions would be administered without further consent, prioritizing the preservation of both my life and that of my unborn child. Then, anesthesia was swiftly administered both through a mask and intravenously, the urgency palpable in the medical team's actions. However, the manner in which the mask was applied bore an unsettling aggression rather than gentle reassurance. The anesthesiologist's attitude showed his growing frustration, clear from his forceful manner that made me instinctively pull back. His stern command to breathe cut through the tense atmosphere, his tone laden with impatience and urgency. Struggling to stay calm amid the rising tension, I assured him I would cooperate, trying to follow his instruction to breathe steadily as the mask provided vital oxygen. Following his instructions with unwavering focus, I regulated my breathing, feeling the grasp of unconsciousness gradually enveloping me after just a few measured breaths. The transition from consciousness to an altered state was not akin to a mere dream, but rather a harrowing descent. Initially, a semblance of slumber teased my senses, only to swiftly dissipate into an unsettling realization. I had ventured beyond the realm of sleep. Instead, I found myself plummeting through obscure, foreboding dimensions. Upon reaching the bottom, an abrupt impact jolted through me with staggering force. A primal scream erupted from deep within, as if I had crash-landed into the abyss. The surrounding darkness was absolute, its walls covered in decay and waste, draped in what appeared to be mold or other repugnant substances. The air was thick with a mix of foul smells, rotten eggs, sharp sweat, mold, and other disgusting odors that hit my senses hard, making every breath a painful effort. Compelled to my knees by the sheer weight of this oppressive environment, I trembled, instinctively brushing off the clinging earth before rising unsteadily to my feet. Gathering my wits amidst this dismal pit, I carefully looked around at the grim emptiness that surrounded me. To my left, a terrifying sight emerged, a lake of fire. Souls, gripped by agonizing despair, plummeted into its searing abyss with harrowing shrieks that still haunt me to this day. Their faces contorted in unimaginable pain. Some resorted to desperate acts of self-infliction, clawing at their faces amidst ceaseless cries that pierced the air. Beyond this inferno lay a sulfur lake, its murky waters resembling a polluted puddle, a dreary blend of gray and black hues. Within its simmering depths, souls endured a grim fate, their forms visible amidst the swirling vapors as they boiled in perpetual suffering. Demons lurked at the water's edge, cruelly thwarting any attempt by the tormented souls to rise above their plight, pushing them down with relentless malice. Amidst this scene, voices of desperation rang out calling for help. But hauntingly, amid these appeals, echoes of blasphemy tainted the air as some souls embittered by their anguish cursed at the Lord, who seemingly did not hear them. Then I saw another room with a gynecological chair, its presence stark against the backdrop of constant torment. Here, a woman's soul writhed in agony as malevolent beings, grotesque in their demonic form, inflicted unspeakable torment upon her. A crude tool resembling a long mace was employed with chilling brutality upon her most intimate parts. Her anguished cries reverberated through the chamber, a heart-rending plea for divine mercy. Further along this nightmarish passage, a scene of appalling desolation revealed itself. A gallows bearing the weight of 10 naked souls, each suspended by a single noose, their forms contorted in agony as they endured unending torment. Next to it was another noose which bore an equal amount of damned souls, each subjected to the merciless whims of a demon who pulled upon the rope, exacerbating their torment with sadistic joy. In yet another chamber, souls ran around naked, pursued by relentless demons who would punish them. Those who would stop faced the sting of demonic whips, compelling them to resume their desperate run. As I continued to look around, I was struck in the face by a colossal demon, a towering bull-like figure with shaggy fur and eyes as dark as obsidian buttons. His chilling words sliced through the atmosphere as he addressed me with a sinister familiarity.
Well, dear, you finally arrived. I've been anticipating your arrival for quite some time.
His presumption startled me, prompting me to respond, "I am not your dear." Undeterred by my defiance, he answered,
Oh yes, you are.
In a calm tone, he continued, his voice carrying the weight of final judgment.
I have created a punishment fitting for your transgressions.
Bewildered, I asked, "What punishment?" His response was swift and unequivocal.
What do you think? You betrayed the Lord Jesus Christ. You were baptized in my name.
On a spectral screen before me, he displayed scenes from my life, a reel of memories depicting my fervent devotion, from the sacred ritual of baptism to the dedicated attendance at sectarian congresses, diligently fulfilling every obligation. He then said with a mix of admiration and malice,
You were flawless. In fact, I quite liked you.
Amid his words, I noticed a throne-like chair on my right. It was large and black, giving off an intimidating vibe. Just as I glanced at it again, he said,
Let's take you to your punishment.
The demons behind him laughed nastily. Their chuckles were disturbing, and they had long, sharp, curled claws that looked like triangles. They tried to tear at me with these claws, but they couldn't quite manage it. When they said, "Take her to her punishment," I pleaded desperately. "What punishment? No, please don't take me to any punishment." I fell to my knees, crying and praying intensely. "Lord, please forgive me. I've always known and will always know that you were crucified for me, a sinner. You shed your blood for me. Please forgive me and take me away from here." As I stood up, the demons behind me giggled mockingly at my prayers.
Look, now she's praying.
Suddenly, it felt like a hand, or maybe an angel, lifted me up out of that dreadful place. I found myself back in the confines of the operating room, suspended in the upper corner as a silent observer to the unfolding scene below. With a quiet dissent, I directed my attention to the operating table, curious to discern the identity of the patient undergoing surgery. A pregnant abdomen lay exposed, the surgical team grappling with the complexities of childbirth. The atmosphere was tense, punctuated by the doctor's frustrated expletives as they struggled with the procedure. Disinterested in the clinical display before me, I silently withdrew from the operating theater. As I drifted away, a curious sensation drew my awareness inward. I saw a translucent tube extending deeply within me, offering a surreal glimpse akin to an X-ray view of my own form. A profound sense of tranquility enveloped my spirit, an ethereal lightness free from pain or earthly concerns. Though I could perceive sense, I lacked the capacity to speak or interact physically. My astral form lingered on the 3rd floor of the hospital's maternity ward, which was very different from the 5th floor surgical suite where life-saving procedures were happening. Amazed by how quickly I moved through the hospital's corridors, I easily traveled through the long hallways, passing by various rooms. In one such room, my attention was drawn to a woman lying in bed, her legs elevated and swathed in bandages. I took a long look at her before pressing on. As I soared through the hospital corridor, a radiant window loomed ahead, its brilliance drawing me towards it with startling speed. Instinctively, I raised my hands to shield myself, anticipating a collision that never came. Passing through the window, I entered a tunnel lit up with an overwhelming bright light, so intense it would blind any ordinary person. Amidst this ethereal journey, voices echoed behind me, urgently calling out my name. Among them, a familiar voice pierced through the cosmic expanse, resembling my daughter's plaintive cry. "Mommy, Mommy, I need you so much. Come back to me." Though their calls reached me clearly, I found myself unable to turn back. During this strange experience, every part of my life flashed before me like a colorful mosaic of memories. From the moment I was on the operating table to the gentle memories of my early childhood up to the age of 7. As if sliding down a gentle slope, I gradually descended from this cosmic journey, feeling a soft, gentle landing upon solid ground. Upon arriving in the expansive meadow, I found myself immersed in a tapestry of vibrant colors, flowers swaying amidst lush green grass under a clear sky, illuminated by the sun's comforting warmth. The air enveloped me in a gentle embrace, its warmth palpable against my cheek, a stark contrast to the often chilly atmosphere of Earth. Descending onto the soft grass, I glanced down at my bare feet. I noticed that I was still dressed in the triangular nightgown from the operation that had delicate petal-like design on it. With childlike joy, I started to run, enjoying the comforting warmth that felt like a pleasant spring day. In the distance, I could hear Orthodox music and harmonious singing that echoed faintly, adding a serene backdrop to my newfound paradise. As I darted amidst the vibrant flowers, each hue more vivid and captivating than any I had seen on Earth, I marveled at their brilliance, realizing how muted and dull our world seemed in comparison. As I turned to my right, I beheld Archangel Michael. Standing next to him was my guardian angel. Both of them were towering figures that made me feel minuscule. Archangel Michael held a flaming sword in one hand, its blade glowing with an ethereal light. And in his other hand, he carried a round shield. He wore a golden crown on his head. Beside him, my guardian angel shone brightly in pure white garments, with a gleaming golden belt and crown, holding a tall Orthodox 8-pointed cross. In awe and confusion, I posed my question to them. "Where am I?" Their reply came with a serenity that calmed my apprehension.
"You are in paradise."
Perplexed by this revelation, I sought clarity. What happened? Their response was gentle, yet matter-of-fact.
"You had a challenging childbirth."
Anxious for reassurance, I inquired further. What was wrong with me? Their comforting words enveloped me with divine assurance.
Do not fear. God will guide the hands of the doctors and all will be well with your child.
However, one of them interjected softly, shaking me from my fleeting comfort.
You know, you are not in a good place. You are ensnared by the deceiver.
Anxiety gripped me as I implored, "What am I doing wrong? Please tell me, and I will rectify it swiftly." Their compassionate gazes met mine, conveying understanding and concern.
There are many aspects of your life that require correction. You must first break free from the deceiver's grasp and undergo baptism. Your name should be changed from Angela to Angelina, and you are to follow the one true faith, the Orthodox faith.
With their words hanging in the air, a solemn silence fell, broken only when another guardian angel spoke with authority.
The Lord has decreed that we must send you back to earth.
Overwhelmed with despair, I sank to my knees, pleading desperately, "Please, I beg you, do not send me back to earth. I am miserable there, constantly burdened with servitude." Despite my desperate plea to stay, one of the celestial beings remained resolute.
I told you, you have to go back.
My heart sank as I beseeched them earnestly, "Please." But before I could finish, a firm grip enveloped my hand, and with a decisive motion, I was transported above the roof of the maternity hospital, hovering over my own inert body lying below. From this ethereal vantage point, I beheld the hospital roof and my physical form beneath me. With a gentle yet firm guidance, they ushered me back into my body. The return was excruciating, akin to being pricked by innumerable needles all at once. As consciousness slowly reasserted its grip, I awoke with a jolt, instinctively clutching my stomach and urgently questioning, "Where is my baby? Where is my baby?" Surrounding voices reassured me of my child's well-being. It was later revealed to me that I had experienced clinical death, my absence lasting only a few fleeting minutes. The medical team had fought tirelessly for my life, their efforts culminating in a miraculous outcome. I had survived against all odds. Upon regaining my strength, I felt compelled to visit the woman whose bandaged legs had captured my attention during my profound experience. Stepping into her hospital room, I approached her with a sense of urgency, eager to validate the details of her situation. Asking about the position in which she typically lay, I described the specific posture I had witnessed during my transcendent journey. To my astonishment and relief, she confirmed the accuracy of my description. She explained that lying with elevated legs was essential to alleviate the strain caused by enlarged leg veins, a condition I had observed firsthand. This confirmation served as a profound reassurance, affirming the reality of my extraordinary experience and dispelling any doubts that it had been mere figments of my imagination. What I wish to convey resonates not only with Orthodox Christians, but with individuals of all faiths and beliefs. My message is for those, like myself, who may find themselves in challenging circumstances, as I was enlightened in paradise. I encourage you to emerge from those trials, embrace orthodoxy, undergo baptism, and dedicate yourselves solely to our Lord Jesus Christ. I am profoundly thankful to God for guiding me through this transformative experience, leading me to embrace the Orthodox faith, which I hold dear. In the name of God's glory, I bid you farewell. May God safeguard you always. Thank you for listening to today's testimony. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing and pressing the thumbs up button. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments section below. As always, links to the original testimony are found in the description of this video. We look forward to seeing you for the next one. Until then, may the Lord be with you.